Traction control, I think it's already off. You have that 800 volt system. Air vent here as well. So this is launch control. Fake. Yeah, that's what I thought. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today I'm taking you around the new Porsche Taycan GTS. This is, well, sort of the sweet spot in the range between the super expensive and powerful turbo GT models, stuff like that, and the 4S that sits below this. So this is more like a sportier version of the Taycan without it getting too expensive and extreme, relatively speaking, of course, because it's still an expensive car. Now, historically, GTS models always had some cool options and extras and interior things that you wanted to order anyway, and then you got a little bit of extra power as well. And that's kind of the thing with this GTS as well. So today I'll show you around it. We'll take a look at the spec, the interior, and then I'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Now, we've got a slate gray Neo, this color. It's a unique color, it's not a metallic color. This, like, well, sort of Nardo gray with some black in the front bumpers, more aggressive bumpers as well. New headlights for the facelift, of course. The Taycan has been facelifted, and that means that it's more efficient, it's more effective basically, so it uses the battery more efficiently, and you've got better range, better performance, more power, stuff like that. New headlights, new taillights, yeah. New wheels as well. This is a 21-inch RS design wheel, 265 tire at the front, pretty wide. And then behind that we've got the optional carbon ceramics, which are great. Honestly, braking performance on this car is insane. We were trying to get some heat in the tires earlier, braking hard on the Autobahn, it will leave like black marks without even full braking power. So it's very, very impressive. Around that we've got Goodyear Eagle F1 tires specific for EVs. We've got air suspension on the Taycan, which is amazing. Honestly, it is one of the best like suspension setups of any Porsche. It's really, really impressive. And well, considering that Porsche is building a lot of really good cars, it's quite impressive that the EV among the range is one of the best to drive. You can see it's low slung, it's wide, it has super wide tires, it has a low center of gravity, it's a heavy car, like 2300 plus kilos, but the way they are managing this is just insane. Air vent here as well, which is fake. That's a shame. We've got GTS on the door sill there. And at the rear, we've got these Goodyear Eagle F1s in 305 section, which is very wide. We've got the new LED bar with the illuminated Porsche logo, Taycan GTS badge. And this is a regular sedan. You can also have a Sport Turismo. And for some versions, you can also have the Cross Turismo, which is incredible. And that's it for the exterior, basically. We've got a panoramic roof as well. It is a nice spec. It is very expensive though. So just as a reference, Taycan starts at 107,000 euros in the Netherlands. This is 155, starting at 155, which is 30k more expensive than a 4S, 30k less than a turbo. So that's basically where it sits in between those. It's still very expensive, and if you go select some cool options like ceramic brakes and stuff like that, this is a 205,000 euro car. So yeah, it's quite expensive. Now you do get some cool stuff like this carbon inlay with the Taycan GTS illuminated logo. You also get these really great seats with the GTS logo and a lot of Alcantara around the car. Ooh, that's very dirty. Alcantara here on the dash as well. Steering wheel, well, race tax, that's what Porsche calls it. On the steering wheel, matte carbon fiber as well. Well, sort of satin carbon trim. A lot of leather. I mean, it's a nice cabin. Materials are good. It's just a little bit dull. And the further you go up the range, we've talked about this before, the further you go up the range, the less this interior seems like it's befitting of a car of that price. So I think for this it's still okay, but if you start, you know, spending 250,000 euros base price for a Taycan, then this interior starts feeling a little bit, I don't know, it's not really that special. We've got the big curved display over there. We are in Sport Plus mode. We've got traction control. I think it's already off, but let me just double check. So the GTS gets a 97 kilowatt hour battery, and that's usable 97 kilowatt hours and 605 horsepower. But if you use launch control, or I think the push to pass button, you get 700 horsepower and 790 newton meters of torque, which is quite a lot. And that means that even though you've got an engine on the rear and an engine in the front, and a 2-speed gearbox in the rear, 1-speed gearbox on the front, you can still feel that it is rear wheel biased, which is great. So it does allow for some playing around, and you also feel the shift of that gearbox, which I always think is really cool. It is a playful car, and the way they've set this up, as I said, it is one of the best handling Porsches, just period. And driving it fast just feels very, very satisfying. There's a center of gravity, and the way this car moves, it's very, very good. It's super impressive. So charging it up at a fast charging 320 kilowatt charger, ideally you should be able to do 18 minutes, 10 to 80%. In the real world, you know, you're probably not going to get close to that, but we did, I think it was 37 to 85% in around 25 minutes this morning. So that's like, it peaked at 170 kilowatts and then went down to 80 along the charge. So yeah, it's all very conditional. The performance, however, is not that conditional anymore, because you have that 800 volt system. The performance is a lot more usable than it used to be with these electric cars. So with this power on the GTS, what does that mean for the 0 to 100? Well, it's supposed to do it in 3.3 seconds, which is really quick. And you would think that that is enough. However, it is even quicker. So this is launch control. Shift there just before or around 100 kilometers an hour, and we did 3.1 seconds, which is super quick. It's just the question I keep asking myself is, what are you paying extra for? So you get all the GTS stuff in the interior, like a lot of race tags and logos and stuff like that. If you go down to a 4S, your range doesn't drop that much, and I think it will also be a little bit more efficient maybe. So the question is that worth it? Is this what you want? Well, they also tweaked the suspension, so the dampers are a little bit more stiff. You have a stiffer anti-roll bar. They tweaked the BASM, the torque vectoring, all the systems to be more sporty. Maybe even send more power to the rear. I'm not sure about that, but the car feels very rear wheel biased. So is that enough to justify the price hike? I'm not sure, because as you maybe know, I don't really think that performance cars and electricity match very well in most cases. And I find myself going for less powerful versions. This is the top speed, by the way. It's limited at 250 kilometers an hour, which is also a bit of a shame. I find myself going to less powerful cars that have bigger range, because it's just so much more usable, and it tends to be a little bit less irritating in real life. So 100 to 200, fastest we've done was 6.5 seconds with this mode. So that means that this is full power, 700 horsepower, 790 newton meters of torque. It is a very quick car. But as I said, if you go for that base Taycan, for instance, you're almost there range-wise, but you save yourself like 50,000 euros, which means that you can do a lot of other cool stuff. Maybe buy something that is actually, you know, a lot of fun to drive on the weekends for 50,000 euros, and then drive your Taycan base car during the week. I mean, that would be, I think, a better solution than having a more sporty EV, if you ask me. It's not a bad car. It's very good, actually. It's quick, it handles super well, but that kind of goes for all Taycans. No ceramics though, so we have to take this exit. That's 240. I'm just like hardly touching them. Oh, there's so much performance there. Absolutely amazing. And also, there's no real regen to actual pad on disc change, so you don't really feel that. It's very good. You also have the pedal on the left to change the regen, so goes from sail to a very slight regen. So if I hit the push to pass button now, and then, yeah, that's what I thought. Even bigger angle. That's nice.
Push to slide.
Push to slide. This thing, it does feel so planted in corners. That weight, it almost feels like it works to its advantage. A little bit of understeer there, but that is very impressive. Oh, I love this car, I do. It feels great, but there's just that I don't know. I don't think I would spend this amount of money on this car. I think the base car is already so good. That might be its problem. So that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video, this playlist, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.